Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Next Level Growth Launchpad. I'm your host, Valarie Bush, and I'm so glad you're here. Today's guest is someone who brings an electrifying mix of strategy, presence, and power to every stage he steps on. I'm joined by Milan Milosevic, the #1 public speaking coach in South Africa, international speaker, entrepreneur, best-selling author of Cracking the Rich Code, which was endorsed by Tony Robbins himself. He's delivered over 1,000 presentations, built multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses, and today he's here to help you discover how your voice just might be the most underused asset in your business toolbox. Milan, welcome, and it's an honor to have you here with us today.
Thanks so much, Valerie. So happy to be here and hopefully going to inspire some people today with the story and really show them how they can use the power of their voice and grow that business to the next level.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for the next level. So let's start by going back to the beginning. You've built this extraordinary career, not just in public speaking, but in real, lasting business growth. What was the turning point when you realized that your voice, your story, could actually be the secret to scaling your business?
That's a great question, right? You'll have to go back to see how far we come, right? So, well, most people see me today as this accomplished person. I built several businesses to 7 and 8 figures. I trained politicians, executive CEOs. But what not many people know about me that 2005, I was broke college dropout, couldn't even speak English. And I didn't like the fact that, hey, I'm here, I'm stuck. And my dad gave me an ultimatum. He says, Milan, you know what? Either you go to school, go to college, or get a job, because you're not going to stay in my house doing nothing, right? So I had to figure out what I'm going to do, and I didn't really know. But I knew that I don't want to get stuck in a job that I didn't like and ended up like most people would. Got to be something better. So I started looking for different opportunities, and I had an opportunity to go and work overseas on a cruise ship, and I took it. And August 12, 2005, that was the day I left my country, Serbia. And my dad was standing there, says, Milan, let's go back home. What are the odds you're going to succeed? You can't even speak English. They're going to send you back home tomorrow. And he started getting a bit emotional. And I said to my dad, Dad, I can do that. I can go back home. I can get that job back. I used to work in a shoe store selling shoes. I said, I can do that, but I was not happy. If I do that, I'm going to get stuck there for the rest of my life. Or what if I go there, if I give my best, succeed? Well, let me give my best and let's see what's going to happen. But Dad, I can tell you one thing. One day I'm going to make you proud. So I ended up working on a cruise ship for 10 years, travel around the world, more than 40 countries. And the whole point why I started that journey was I was not happy where I was. I felt I was meant for something greater. And I was exposed to all these different people and coaches and mentors, and eventually wrote a book endorsed by Tony Robbins. And story goes on. But it's all about understanding if you're not happy where are you right now, well, you got to do something about it, or stay where are you and then complain, right? So I realized, let me do something and let's see what's going to happen. And even if I fail, let me do something else. So I was willing to take that leap of faith, found that courage. And I'm happy because otherwise I won't be here today and share my story.
Wow, wow, that is so powerful. And I love how you turned something so personal, your own story, into a platform for others. And it really reminds me that our voice doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be ours.
Mm.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
that's powerful, right? Because you can say, hey, there's this guy Milan, he's got a funny accent. It doesn't really matter. Accent doesn't matter, but the story is the most important. If you like my story, you connect with me personally on a deeper level, and it's all about what can I learn from you? What kind of value do I get? Then you forget about the accent, how we look. It's all about, wow, this is a great person. I can learn something from them, regardless of how you look and how you pronounce your name or whatever that is. So essentially is really the story, and that's how I build that deeper connection, and that's how I build all my businesses, right? So let's see who's behind this business. What's the story all about? It's not just about I'm selling a product or service. It's about here's how I started this journey of developing this program. Here's why, and why I believe that anybody can become so successful like me, even more, because the power of your story is yours. It's unique. No one has done it in the way you did. And let's share that experience, those lessons, so that someone else who might be going through the similar journey like you are right now can learn something, get inspired, and hopefully change their life for better.
And as I think about this, and part of what I really embrace and try to practice is the attraction marketing. And so
Mm,
this kind of is the attraction. Why is someone attracted to me? Why am I attracted to you? So this is
right.
beautiful. Well, your
Mm,
talk is called Grow a Business to Seven Figures with the Power of Your Voice. And I know that phrase, the power of your voice, is going to resonate with a lot of our viewers. But many entrepreneurs still struggle to connect the dots between speaking and scaling or growing. Can you set the stage for us? What do you mean when you say your voice can grow your business?
mm. I was thinking about it today before this conversation. I realized there's a lot of great leaders, but they're not necessarily great communicators, great speakers. They lead, they delegate, but when it's time to deliver a message impactfully, they're struggling. All of a sudden, they ended up looking for someone like me. And I realized there's really three things. Number one is your story. Number two is how do we promote that story? And number three is let's tie all that up with our business, whatever it is. We can be offering a product or service. So once we clear what that story is, right, then we're going to get that story out there to connect with people that we want to connect with, right? So we're going to have people who don't like us. Look at this guy, Milan, he looks like this, he speaks and act like this, but really want to get someone who will hear my story, connect through the values that I present, right? And connect with me deeper. And then we use the power of marketing to promote that story through our social media, or through our newsletters, through our books, essentially. And when we tied all that up with a product or service that we're offering, like in this case, I'm offering coaching and mentorship programs, right? People would know there's this guy, Milan. He offers these programs and he's got a powerful story. He started with nothing, couldn't even speak English. He shared the stage, 5,000 people. Tony Robbins endorsed his book. Wow, I want to learn from someone like that. What does he have to offer? Let's follow him on social media. Essentially becomes so much easier to build your business because you know who's behind it. You connect with the person on a deeper level. And then it's just an exchange value. Okay, I have a choice. There's hundreds, if not thousands of people who are public speaking coaches, but I like Milan. I like his story. He says something powerful and people are even willing to pay more because they connect with you on a personal, deeper level because they see the value and you show them how far they can go. And if people can really now post-COVID era, this is very, very, we spoke about it earlier, right? But something has shifted. People are not the same. But people like personalities, more real talk. I want to connect with you personally. I want to know who Valarie is, right? We spoke about California and all this, where we are living, right? Wow, that's a story there. So the more I get to know you, the more we're building trust and essentially we're building a relationship. So down the line, when you recommend something to me, I'm more likely to get that from you, to go into that relationship because we're friends now. We build that relationship through power of marketing and branding, right?
Milan, I've been thinking about, and I've mentioned this on a couple of the other with the other interviews, but I came out of corporate. I was a vice president of technology at a big Fortune 100 company, and I was good, okay, but I carried what I called my dress for success attitude, okay, and so when I tried to transition into small business, it didn't work because
Mm,
I wasn't able to show my vulnerability, okay, and I couldn't be real. I had to carry this facade. And so what you're talking about here is so powerful because again, for small businesses, we've got to be willing to what you just talked about, to show our story, show us, take
yeah.
off the cloak, okay, and to be open, and because then people can connect and relate. So that's, wow, this is a real interesting blend of authenticity and strategy, and it's such a game changer for in a market that's flooded with so much noise. You're
Mm,
showing us how to cut through what I call the clarity and confidence.
yeah.
Yeah, this is
That's it.
powerful stuff. Well,
Mm.
let's break this down. What are some of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when trying to use speaking as a growth tool?
Right. So we think that it's all about features, I will say. This is what I have. Let's talk about that. right? And it's great. We love features. We buying things based on features, but essentially now is what's in it for me, right? I'm watching you. And if there's not something that's related to my conditions, to my situation right now, why would I be following you? I mean, we have so many people, right, we posting on, and I'm talking about social media mainly, right? What are we really posting? How are we promoting? How do we show up in the world, right? If I'm just showing myself being beautiful, okay, what kind of value? I mean, maybe I'm not in the mood. Maybe we don't connect. But if I'm saying, hey, I'm here where I'm today because of this. I started like this, and this was my journey. And we documenting, and I learned this from one of the great creators, Gary Vee, right? So he would say, document, don't create, right? So here's my journey. Here's what I've done, right? So if people can only really focus on benefits rather than features, right? Showing people how far they can really go with this content, with this value of this product or service becomes so much easier to connect, right? I can talk about, look, I train politicians, executives, CEOs, great. But look, I can take a politician to be a very powerful leader and more confident in their delivery. Wow, that's a great outcome. I can take someone with an accent to share the story and become more powerful so that you don't focus on your accent, you focus on connection and story. That's a great outcome. But if I just say, become a better speaker, learn the ums and ums and stuff, how to calculate all that, becomes a bit of a, everybody does it. So I really love the story of people being unique, being authentic, being themselves in their own business. Here's my product. Here's my service. This is why I started. Here's what this can do for you. Here's some stories of people who've been part of this journey. And you decide at the end. I'm sure you have a lot of choices. If you connect with me, great. If you don't, that's fine. There's someone who will. So being real, you attract the real people, right? Without even pushing, without even selling anything. You attract the right loyal clients, loyal customers who just want more of you, right? And just, Milan, tell us more. Wow, you went through a divorce. How did that go? Oh, wow, Milan, you're a dad of two. How are you managing? Oh, wow, Milan, you're just making this movie. I'm also an actor and a stuntman, if people didn't know, right? How did that working for you? Tell us a bit more, because we are here to inspire as speakers without even realizing. If we can speak, we can influence. If we can influence, we can change lives. So let's influence, show people and give them a choice. Hey, you might be a college dropout, ain't over yet. You might have a bad accent, doesn't matter. Look at Milan, right? You know, doesn't matter where you're coming from. It's always where you're heading, who would you like to become, and let's find someone who can really take you there.
Excellent. Wow. No, right. It's not just about getting on a stage. It's what you do on that stage and how you build the trust, how you move people to action. That's powerful. So you've built a system for turning speaking opportunities into income and long-term clients. Can you walk us through how you make that happen? How you can turn a talk into real business growth?
Right. So if you're looking at all this as a business, and this is what I have, what I realized as a part of being this journey for the last almost 2 decades, 20 years, right? So a lot of speakers, they believe, oh, I have a powerful story. I'm going to go there and speak. I'm going to get known, and people are going to start inviting me to speak for a fee. But somehow it doesn't happen because your story is not enough. Just simply might be a great story. Your story is not enough if you don't have a power of marketing or if you don't have something at the back end. So here's what I learned from great business people like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, many of them my friends and mentors, right? When you speak, you are promoting yourself, and suddenly, what do you stand for? What kind of values are you promoting, right? And what do you have at the back end? Because later on, if somebody start following me on social media, I might offer them, oh, I do have a coaching program, or here's the book, or something like that. So if we see it that way, if I go and talk in schools for free, it's a free speech, right? But I'm inspiring kids. I'm also building a loyal base of followings. These kids are going to follow me later on down the line. They might even get my book. Or if I'm talking to entrepreneurs, right? Wow, here's this guy, Milan, talking about how he built a business to 7, 8 figures. Great, let's follow him. I'm delivering value. And later on, by the way, if you need help with your business or with your delivery, you're a CEO or a leader, come and buy my product or service. So every opportunity that I can speak, even for free, it's a form of promotion, a form of marketing, form of branding, where suddenly I'm promoting what I offer at the back end. If we don't have anything at the back end, that product or service becomes very difficult to grow yourself. You can become a well-known speaker, but hey, broke speaker. Milan, you know what? I've done so many free events, and I love free events, right? Milan has spoken TEDx stages, great stages for exposure, but how are you really making your money? How are you surviving? Milan, I'm still waiting for an opportunity. Well, if you just use all these opportunities we spoke to subtly invite people into your database, give them something for free, and then we can build a subtle business. But building a business really becomes around the passion, what are you good at? And eventually you want to teach others how to do the same thing. So we have to have something at the back end. Without that, we won't be able to use the power of speaking and our voice to subtly promote ourselves as a face of the brand in that business and subtly get people. I mean, I learned the same thing from Tony Robbins. I mastered his funnel, right? When I saw him first time, who is this guy, right? I went to one of his events, and then eventually he started offering this one-on-one mentorship program, $50,000. I was like, wow. But the question wasn't, it's too expensive, is where do I find the money? You see, that's the difference. So I wanted to be part of that circle, but I didn't have the money. But if I just met someone now and say, hey, this is Milan, buy $50,000. No, who are you? I don't know you. So we have to build trust and relationship. And that's how I essentially build a business of loyal clients. Yeah.
Wow, that is a very helpful and healthy roadmap. You're taking something that feels very overwhelming to a lot of people and making it very doable. I also especially like when you talked about that you're going into the schools and starting to communicate this. I'm very passionate about, I'm a pilot, and I do something very similar in talking to youngins about flying or aviation in general, because I want to influence that next crop, okay,
Exactly.
and plant the seeds. And when they're still able to take, some of the ideas in the direction, I thank you so much. That is wonderfully powerful.
Right.
Now, I know some of our audience may be thinking, okay, that's great for Milan, but I'm not a confident speaker. What would you say to someone who's introverted or hesitant to put themselves out there?
It's funny that you mentioned, because I'm very introverted even nowadays. But I excel. I excel on the stage. Stage is
Yeah.
my playground. Whether it's the webinars, I've done hundreds of webinars or 1,000 live events. That's where I excel, and I train myself to be very comfortable with that uncomfortable space at the first time. But in a smaller group of people, I'm always the last one who speaks. I normally listen. I'm very quiet. So doesn't really matter how you behave as an introvert. We're more like, kind of, we can say we're a bit shy, right? So you learn the skill, and the more you do it, better you become. We like to say, feel comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? So the more webinars you do, better you become. The more you do the content, even the 30 seconds video you're going to do today on your phone, you better you become. In 1 month, you're going to have 30 pieces of content, and you're going to be much better. Now imagine after 365 days, your confidence will grow. And this is what speaking really did to me by speaking on all these big stages and smaller ones as well. You become more confident. You develop your personality, and you know where you excel, and you just do more of that. So I will say, start this journey as soon as possible. Even if you're afraid of speaking on stages, doing webinars, just start doing content for yourself. You are your best judge. Record yourself. You'll see what's missing and slowly improve. There's a lot of great schools, regardless where you're from, right, that you can start teaching. You can get first with your friends and family to give you that constructive feedback. But the best judge is really you. If you're all alone, normally us introverts, we want to be alone. Leave me alone in my own space, right? But then start doing this by yourself. And when you're ready, could be in a month, could be in 6 months or a year, then you release that video into the crowd, right, into the social media. Then you'll see the feedback will be good. Why? Because the time will come when you're ready, and when the teacher will appear when student is ready. So maybe this is your moment to hear this. If Milan was able to do it, who was introvert, who couldn't even speak English, wow, I can do the same thing. But doesn't have to be 20 years like it took me to be here. There's a lot of different things that you can speed up by learning from people who are much better than you. I started learning from Les Brown, Lisa Nichols became my mentor and a personal friend, Tony Robbins, all these great people. So people who are better than you are the right people to take you to the next level.
Yeah, I agree, because it's not about being loud, but it's about being real.
Yeah.
And your voice isn't just your words, it's your energy, your conviction, your story. And one of the things I kind of practice with a lot of different parts of my life, I call it act as if. Okay.
Mm.
And so while I'm struggle with, whatever it is, I'll pretend, okay, that it's that, that's it. And so
Yeah.
and I heard you say you were an actor too, and I've been on stage a little bit, but sometimes
Mm,
I'll just act as if I am a public speaker, okay, and I
yeah.
put on a facade, and it's a kind of an out of body experience, but it works.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's how I started as well. Let's see how Les Brown does it. Oh, wow, he's so powerful. But maybe I can use his movement and apply on the stage. Huh. This is how Lisa delivered his story. Oh, I like Tony Robbins as he's a bit more straight to the point. So by copying others, we
yes,
eventually molding ourselves. And one day you wake up, wow, this is Milan. I'm part of all of these people I learn from. You can never be like Lisa Nichols, Les Brown, like Milan, but you can be the best that you can be. And that's what makes you unique because you
right.
learn from all these great people and become
Yeah.
yourself.
I love modeling, and that's part of what I'm really
Mm,
excited about this whole event, where I've got 20 people providing different kinds of modeling. And
yeah,
I think that people learn the best, especially older folk, kinesthetically by
right.
watching. So, well, and I know mentorship is a big theme for you. Can you share a bit about the role of mentorship, how it's played in your journey, why it's so crucial to scaling with integrity, to grow with integrity?
Right. So at some point, I think we all ask ourselves, am I good enough? Where do I
Mm,
want to go? Do I know how to do this by myself? Well, looks like it's not working. So how do I take myself to the next level? So I automatically started seeking people who were on that next level where I
uh-huh.
wanted to be, whether they were
Yeah,
speakers or business owners. And I found the greats and I realized, but I don't want to settle down for less. If I can learn from the best, let me do that. But the best, they come with the biggest price, right? So
yeah,
it
yeah.
was all about, should I settle down for less or let me kind of make it happen and learn from the best? And that's what I started learning. I think mentorship took me to the next level. I have different mentors, and my mentors, they have mentors. There's always the next level. And every single person took me to the next level faster and closer. But I
Right.
think the biggest point was I thought that I can do this by myself for many years. And a lot of people, we've been trained like that. Let me just go to YouTube and watch. There's always some tutorials, and we can try, but we don't have a habit of doing it ourselves. And then the time goes by, we get caught up, and essentially our life is determined by our habits. So if we have good habits of learning, of growing, and really following through, we might get there, but a lot of people don't. So I realized I need help. I need someone to hold
Right.
my hand, to guide me in the right direction, to hold me accountable, give me some tasks. And that's what really worked great for me. And that's why I'm here, right? People in business helped me a lot to scale my businesses, especially when COVID happened, for instance. We used to do a lot of live events, and all of a sudden you're not able to do it. What do we do? Our business is going to go down. So we had to switch online, but we didn't know anything about online. So I had to call my team from my people, from my mentors from America, right? From US. And can you guys teach my team in South Africa about online businesses? They were happy to do that. And that's how we were able to save our business and even grow it to the whole new level, because now we can do webinars, we can do all these different presentations. So it was a need of being innovative, but also understanding if I'm stuck right now, if this is not working, well, how do we make it happen? Who are the right people to take us to the next level? Same mindset took me through life, right? In any industry, when that thing happened with COVID, right? Okay, who can help us to reach online success? Let's get the right people. And it's never ending story, right? Even now you can say Milan is accomplished. It's always the next level, right? How many more lives I can change? How do I grow my bubble, my impact and influence? And that's the biggest message, I guess, for today. Never stop learning, because life never stopped teaching you, right?
That's it. That boy, is that true? Boy. And the other
Mm,
thing I really like what you said, success doesn't happen in isolation.
yeah,
Okay. And hearing how you've, leaned on the community, on guidance and vision just reinforces how powerful and how the human this whole process is. And I think we were talking before the interview about, to me, connection, whether it's between a speaker and an audience or a business owner and their customer. It's all
yeah,
about connection and how do you get there? So
right.
it's beautiful. That's so you've coached so many people using these tools. Can you share a client story or an example that shows what's possible when someone truly leans into the speaking as a growth strategy?
Oh, there's so many. right? So once you put yourself out there, all of a sudden you attract the right people. And I mean, I do train politicians, executives, CEOs. There's always something new to learn, but also regular people who feel that they have a powerful story to share and inspire, but they just don't know how. So I'm going to share a story of one of my great students. Her name is Fikile from South Africa. So the lady saw one of my events and she got inspired and said, Milan, I'm a cancer survivor. And while I was lying on the bed all alone, going through the chemo, I was so feeling lonely. There was no one there to hold my hand and tell me that everything's going to be fine. So I had to go through this journey by myself. So Milan, I'm here today because I want to show people that who are going through similar things like I went through that struggle and pain, that they don't have to do this by themselves. I don't know how we're going to do this, but I feel that I have a powerful story. And she survived that journey, and she's a cancer survivor for many years now. She says, Milan, let's share my story and inspire people who might be going through difficulties. So we created her program. We sit down and say, okay, let's see, what is your story? She started delivering story. Eventually, she becomes so-called the resilience coach. And her mission was just to show people that with enough commitment, the resilience, courage, that you can overcome even the most deadliest diseases in the world. And you don't have to do this by yourself. What if I can be next to you and show you if this worked for me, it might work for you as well. So that's why I developed together. I'm so proud of her, from someone who just didn't know where they were. All of a sudden, they were so clear. They were so inspired. Well, Milan, this is who I am. This is my whole being is telling me that I want to go in this direction because I was that person who didn't have anyone. I don't want to have anyone again who can say, I'm all alone. No, we can save so many lives just by being there for them. So I'm so proud of her, and so many other great stories as well. Wow. But the whole point of sharing this is to inspire others that if you believe that you have a powerful story, share it. Don't deprive the world of that power. Someone is waiting to hear it. They might be lying in the bed all sick right now. There might be a little kid in the audience just waiting to hear that. Might be someone standing on the bridge want to kill themselves. Hey, wow. Why not show them that there is hope? And as speakers, we have that power. And the more we powerful in that delivery, we can essentially change their lives and make the world a better place, right?
Wow. Well, that's the kind of transformation that we're here for. You know, it's not just about revenue. It's more about purpose, about impact, and more freedom.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. And then my personal philosophy is that when we share that kind of a story, then people who are inspired pay it forward. Okay. Yeah. So, and it may not be that they formally go out and do a presentation, but they carry that wow, and then say, okay. And then we start to touch lives, and that's how we can change the world.
Yeah, I mean, people need to understand that you don't have to do this alone. You're not alone in this world. There's someone who went through the similar journey like you, through the struggle, through the pain. Anybody been broke? I've been broke several times. Somebody who lost some loved ones, went through divorce. There's someone who went through that, but they overcome. They survived and made the world a better place. They become more successful, healthier. So if we realize that, let me find someone like that to inspire me, because together we're stronger. Now you have someone as an idol, as a beacon of light, who will take you to the next level. And then we go together through this journey. You don't have to do it by yourself. And without even realizing, you're building your tribe, you're building your community of like-minded people heading in the same direction. And that becomes so powerful at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yep. Wow, it's wonderful. Well, let's talk about the next steps. You've created a powerful resource to help entrepreneurs get started today. The 11 reasons why public speakers fail. Can you tell us what's inside and why this is a must-have for anyone thinking about using their voice to grow?
Right. So that's a gift I would like to give all of you viewers and listeners. Really, I've been in this industry for over 2 decades, and I realized always the same mistakes. So I wrote them down in this quick read, the ebook, right? I want to give to everybody complimentary, right? So really focus straight to the point, what's missing, how to become successful. So if you want to become a successful business owner and a speaker, How do I make it better? So learn from these mistakes that I make, that a lot of people did, so that you don't have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. 11 reasons, very straight to the point. If you follow them, not only you will become a better speaker, but you will start getting paid to speak. You will essentially take your business to the next level, and you will realize what's missing. Maybe you're making these mistakes already without even realizing, right? Especially now, if you're still speaking for free, if you're not growing, if your business is a little bit stuck, this ebook can definitely help you take that to the next level.
Excellent, excellent. So good. I especially love how you're not just giving us theory, but you're handing over the traps to avoid and the tools
Yeah,
to improve right away. Thank you.
right.
Wow.
Welcome.
And so for the audience to access this, we'll just click a link near this video and you'll get instant access to the ebook and start shifting how you speak and how you sell today.
Correct. Yeah.
And Milan, you also run the Seven Figure Speakers program. For those who want to go deeper, can you share a quick word on that?
Right. So if anybody need help with storytelling, with speaking in general, not necessarily only techniques, right? But Milan, I want to connect with my story on a deeper level. Milan, I want to heal through that journey. So let's identify those moments from your story. This is why Seven Figure Speaker Program is created. So with 3 different areas. Number 1 is your storytelling. Number 2 is really about marketing. If you already have a business or story, you might be missing a bit of a power of marketing and branding. I'm also head of marketing for all our brands, and our brands are 7 and 8 figures. And the third part really combines all these 3 things. So we focus on storytelling, power marketing and branding, exposure, and also let's tie all that with your business that you have right now. So if anybody feel need to connect all these little dots, if you have a business, reach out to me. We would normally have a discovery call, and then just to see how powerful your story is. Maybe you don't even realize. Maybe you forgot where you're coming from. So let's bring that up. Let's bring all those lessons, and then just release. I can only show you how far we can go, and then you decide what to do next. If I'm the right person to take you to the next level, I'll be happy to be part of your journey. It's all about that journey. But essentially, whatever you folks decide, I'm here for you. I've walked the path of, I want to say, many lives. I mean, I counted the other day, about 22 jobs. I worked overseas, traveled to 40 countries, trained a lot of people. So I believe that you do have a powerful story to share, that your business can go to the next level. Maybe you need a bit of a help, and I'll be more than happy to be part of your journey as well.
Wow. Well, Milan, this has been such an energizing conversation. You've really reminded us that our voice is not just a marketing tool, but it's a legacy tool.
Mm.
And I think that that's a very powerful message to kind of take in. Before we go, what's one piece of encouragement you'd like to offer the business owner who knows they're meant for more, but maybe they're scared to step into that spotlight?
Right. Find that courage. Take that leap of faith. What choice do you have, right?
Yeah.
You can always stay where you are right now. Nothing will be different. Or you can do something different. And by doing that, you will have different results. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Being an entrepreneur, it's a never-ending story. We learn from the past. We learn from struggle. We learn from obstacles. But all we have to do is stay long enough on the path, and eventually success will happen, because we have to grow. And as you grow, you become stronger, more resilient, more powerful, not just as a speaker, as a business owner, and then you can take your business to the next level. Today, you might be making $1,000 a month. Tomorrow, just by doing these little shifts, and you will know better than me what's missing, right? You're going to make 10,000, and then next thing 100,000 to reach $1 million per month. That requires a whole different set of skills. But again, it's the journey, it's the path. Stay long enough on the path, and you will know what do you need to do to reach that next level. And that helped me, and I'm sure you as well, Valarie, right? Never giving up on your dreams, always doing something more impactful and growing as a person. And by doing that, you just grow everybody else around yourself, and your business will grow naturally.
Absolutely. Boy, that's it right there. Step into it.
Yeah.
The message matters.
Yep.
Well, Milan, thank you again for being a part of the Launchpad, as I call it, and thank you to everyone watching. We'll see you in the next session.